Friends, what do we say here? I mean, what do we say here? I mean, my God. Man, look at Palantir. Look at Palantir. Look at SoFi. Look at SoundHound. Look at these stocks that we've all been talking about. I think everyone's kind of just investing in the same thing at this point. You know, we're investing in very, very, very high aggressive growing stocks right now. So let's just focus on Palantir, focus on SoundHound here. I know I talked about SoundHound yesterday, but I mean, my God, since I talked about it, it almost went up $2 more. But going into Palantir here first, let's keep this another just short, sweet, to the point video. Palantir right now is trying to walk its way back up into a $65 range, but possibly by next week, Palantir could be at $75. Now, that's a $10 difference. I know. But you have to understand what's about to happen with Palantir. Palantir is about to have something remarkable happen again to it. It's about to have a lot more money pumped into it. Why? Well, on November 26th here, in case you didn't know, you should know, Palantir is going to be trading on it's going to be trading on the Nasdaq. So that's huge. Okay, that now it's already on the S&P. Now it's going to go on the Nasdaq. Now it's on every platform here. Okay. So this right here is going to propel just a lot more money, just shoving money into an already overflowing well that is Palantir right now with money. For the moment, what should you do with Palantir? Should you buy more Palantir? Should you sell Palantir? Friends, I think at this moment right now, the stage we're at, obviously you make your own decision what you want to do with Palantir, but I think what we should be saying here is Palantir is a little too dangerous to sell right now. That's the thing. Now, going into December here, I'm not going to be totally shocked to see the market kind of pull back here because that's usually what we see here. And we know January is going to bring some parabolical gains. Palantir here is in a dangerous position for you to sell out of it, okay? Because Palantir not only is being shoved into the Nasdaq, where it's going to have a lot more money though, into a lot more eyes looking at it, but Palantir, before we know it, is going to be bringing out these their last quarterly here for 2025 before we know it, going into 2025. For 2024 going into 2025, it's going to be coming out here. And not to mention, Palantir could get a lot bigger contracts coming up here. We know, I've spoken of this, but we know that Trump loves to put a lot of money into defense. Palantir already having contracts with our defense sector. We could see those really, really advance and progress here. And we know that Palantir is, already friends with the Trump administration, people in there. So that right there is leading a lot of breadcrumbs to the suspicion that this Palantir situation could just get worse in the sense of like it's going to get a lot more expensive. So to me, I look at Palantir right now as just a very aggressive growth stock where if you're lucky to put $5-10 a week in it, or $100 or maybe $500, I think you're going to be fine, because this is why everyone is saying that Palantir is going to $500. There's some people out there saying that Palantir is going to go $1,000 within 2 years. I don't think that's insane to say. I really don't. I mean, we've seen these AI stocks just do this year. What we've learned in the stock market is that these AI stocks are going to do whatever they want to do. They're going to make the rules. They're going to make their own road. They're going to just plow right through the forest of everyone saying, you can't do that. We've never seen a company do that. Well, that's impossible. Nvidia didn't care. AMD did a lot this year. Other AI stocks did a lot. Palantir doing a lot. Look at SoundHound I'm going to talk about, yap my mouth about. Palantir is breaking all the rules. It's breaking everyone's minds right now, because every time we get we reach another big new number, we see another big deal, we go, well, okay, it's done. It's going to sell off here. Of course it's going to go back to $40. I don't think we're ever going to see $40 again with Palantir. It's going to take something awful to happen. Like the whole market's going to plummet. But even then, I don't know that Palantir would really touch. I could see Palantir going back to like 50, maybe a high 40, but that's a lot of sell-off at this point. And the people that are buying Palantir right now, they're not buying Palantir to sell. They're buying Palantir to hold for a long time, because they know there's a lot more coming around the corner here. So that's something you need to think about. This is not, I've seen a lot of people leave comments where like, man, I sold out at like 55, I sold out at 60. Do you think it's going to go back down? I think it's going to go, I think it's going to be $70 by next week. That's what I think. This NASDAQ deal is nothing to play around with. This is if you're not in Palantir, you should be fearful right now. You should be fearful because it is going to get more expensive. It's going to get a lot more expensive. So friends, listen, I'm not going to go over a chart. I'm not going to look at a candlestick chart because like I said, Palantir has had an amazing year with deals, with progression, with Alex Karp coming out and giving really good interviews, which I think that's a very good, sturdy thing you want to see in a company too. When the CEO comes out and they praise their company, and they say great things about their company, leaving lots of breadcrumbs going into the new year. What we've seen Alex Karp talk about this year is that, like, Palantir has no enemies. It has no one to challenge it. Okay, that's the thing with Palantir. It has no one to challenge it. No one is doing on the level what Palantir is doing on their level. There's no ceiling for what they can hit right now. Okay, this is a different company from 2 years ago, and it's still a different company in where it's going. Where it was here just in January of the beginning of this year, 2024. No one could have ever suspected the progression that was going to happen with Palantir this year, but it keeps shocking people, and there's no reason it should not keep progressing here into 2025, probably very early into 2025. This NASDAQ thing, like I said, this is nothing to play around with. This is going to be a very this is going to be another wake-up call for people to be like, oh my God, it's at 70, but this time next week, 2 weeks from now, people are going to go like, it's at 70, it's at 75, like, oh my God, what do you mean? Oh, it's sold off to 68, like, oh my God, is this the new low? To me, Palantir is not a situation of where you're trying to stay ahead of it. You're just trying to keep up right now. Like I said, what I do with Palantir, I have an account with Palantir where I bought it long ago. It just sits there. That's for me way into the future. For my children, who knows? Wherever it goes, I don't know. Then I have a platform where I buy Palantir, and I just throw, X amount of money in it every week, and I just let it grow. And because I know Palantir is going to continue to grow aggressively into the next 5 to 10 years. It's nowhere near done or met its numbers, okay? It's pretty obvious when a company has this much good news around it and it just keeps coming, it's not going to stop. There's no reason for Palantir to stop right now. It is taking all the money. It's taking all the deals where it has its business right now. It's just like Nvidia. Nvidia is taking all the money. That's because they're doing the best at what they're doing right now. Palantir is doing the best at what they're doing right now. No one else is coming close. They have no competition. It's just what it is. So friends, like I said, I don't want to yap too much about Palantir. I've talked about Palantir so much. Everyone's talking about Palantir. Everyone should be talking about Palantir. It's an unbelievable thing to be a part of right now, and just watch it. If you have 1 share, 5 shares, 10 shares, 50 shares, maybe 1,000 shares, maybe you were able to get that many. Even the littlest investor in here, be happy, be excited, man. Be excited that you're a part of this journey with Palantir, because it's going to get a lot wilder. I'm telling you, it's going to get a lot wilder. Listen, we could be in a situation where a year from now, maybe 2 years, who knows how aggressive 2025 is going to be. We could be talking about a stock split with Palantir. What if they came out and they did a 4-to-1, 5-to-1, 10-to-1 stock split? Holy smokes. Okay? Holy smokes. So every time you're putting that $5 in, that $10 in, you're essentially doubling your money. Triplet, you're doing more than that. These are things to really think about. This is the main thing I see with people in the stock market. They're just thinking like, well, if I buy it now, next week it goes 75, that could sell out of it, and then I'll put this money in like this penny stock over here, and then maybe that penny stock will run. When you play it safe, it always works better. Okay, think if you just kept putting money in Palantir beginning of this year. Think if you just start now, just keep putting money in Palantir, where it's going to be in 6 months, this time next year. This is no joke company right now. This is the real deal. This is a real investment you were looking at right now. This is a growing company. This is going to be a household name company here very soon. It's the real deal. Friends, SoundHound. I just talked about SoundHound, so I don't want to repeat myself too much. Like I said, it's Friday. People don't want to hear me talk all night here. I get it. But one thing that we're seeing around SoundHound. SoundHound is just getting so much heat right now. You know, we've had double this year, double big investments from NVIDIA. So that's one thing to really push the stock up, hype it up, getting people's attention, putting in the zeitgeist here with all the AI stocks. But not only that, the quarterlies keep getting better. Now, SoundHound is not still in a position where it's debt-free, where they just have money just to set on fire. This isn't a Palantir. This isn't an NVIDIA company, okay? They're in this middle ground right now where they're growing aggressively. And 2025 should be a very, very special year for them because it could be the year, and it looks like it might be the year, where they become cash flow free here, where they're out of debt, that they take on more deals, more opportunity. This is why it's just an onslaught of it's just nonstop right now. Good articles about SoundHound, and that's not totally important. You know, I get like you shouldn't make investments just because the media is saying good things or bad things about something, but it's very interesting that all you can find right now are just essentially it's pretty good articles about SoundHound. And what is this doing? Well, it's just getting SoundHound's name out there. That this is a very young opportunity, but you know, SoundHound's obviously been around, but still, there's a lot of meat left on the bones here for people to pick off here with SoundHound, especially under $10. So I had been yapping my gums here about SoundHound for months. I was begging people to buy this stock at $3 and $4. Okay, now it's almost at $10. Even at these prices, think 6 months from now, SoundHound gets a few more earnings underneath their belt here, 2, 3 more. Think in that time too, they get some massive deal. Okay, think about where the stock's going to go. This is how things get very expensive very fast. SoundHound at this point, progression-wise, is moving faster than SoFi. And obviously, two different companies, two different bread and butter. You know, there's water and wine. So save your comment. I get it. I dare say SoundHound could run faster than SoFi this year if SoFi keeps doing what it's doing. Because SoFi is in this very special range right now where it's running with the AI boys. But with that, right now it's in the back of the pack, okay? But it's good friends with NVIDIA, who's at the front. Okay, and NVIDIA, they've got a rope dragging SoundHound up here, and SoundHound's getting very fast. They're doing really good on earnings. They're doing really good on deals. They're saying and doing all the right things right now, okay? SoundHound is going to be the dark horse of 2025. I'm warning you right now. This stock is going to be $10, $15, $20 here before people know it, just off FOMO alone, because people are not going to miss it. Look at what this stock is doing. Look, it almost hit $9 today. Now, obviously, all AI stocks are doing amazing today. And probably next week's going to be worse because all this stuff going with Palantir. When one of the big AI stocks do well, they kind of all cheer for each other and they all do good here. But saying that, SoundHound is going to run up, sell down. Run up, sell down. People are taking notice of this company very aggressively. So what do I expect here next with SoundHound? Well, I expect SoundHound to do what it did this week. Sell off aggressively, run up aggressively. Sell off aggressively, run up aggressively. But in that situation too, find new highs, new lows, on to new highs, back to new lows. And that's how you're going to get staircases built with this chart right now with SoundHound, to where next week, hey, maybe it'll sell off to 650. That's very possible. But then it will start getting ate up again and move its way back up into a high $6 range, into a low $7 range. Repeat the pattern. Sell. Buying more. Shares are getting ate up. More good news is coming out. This is how things get expensive very fast. Literally just having this conversation with SoundHound was $3, $4, $5. Okay, repeated the same thing. The last earnings to come out here with SoundHound were really good. Okay, NVIDIA just made another huge investment in SoundHound. SoundHound is expected to double, almost triple the revenue into next year. Okay, pay attention to what is going on with SoundHound. Is $8 too high to buy right now? I think at the moment, yeah, it will sell off back to the 7s at least. High 6s, I could see that for sure. Like I said, I think everything's going to take a little bit of a pullback here going in December, 2 weeks, from January. But November's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. Friends, I'm going to stop my yapping here. I wish all of you best of luck. Like I said, I'm just, man, I'm jazzed. I'm super excited about what's coming here with this market. This is such a time to be an investor. We are literally in the gold mine age of time. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. We're just in such a moment right now with the stock market, with the crypto market. There's so many amazing opportunities out here to change your life, change your children's life, your grandchildren's life into the future. Just with a few bucks here and there. Take $5, $10 weekly. You don't need 1,000. You don't need 100. You don't need $50. Just start pinching pennies. It's easy to start somewhere in this market, especially when you have stocks that are such young growth stocks right now. Imagine if you were buying, imagine 4 or 5 months ago, if you were buying SoundHound, putting $5, $10 a week in it, and where you would be now. You almost doubled your money. This is how you start to build up in the stock market, okay? This is how I did it years ago. This is how you can do it. Instead of buying a Red Bull at the gas station, take it, put it in an account. It's that simple. It's that simple. Don't be embarrassed to buy one share of SoFi, Palantir, SoundHound. Don't be embarrassed about that. You're in it. Friends, we'll talk soon. Have a good weekend.